Hi, my name's Nate Chai. I'm the director of Storywarned, and joining me today, we have the absolute pleasure of international speaker, coach. You're a human behaviour and cognition expert,
Yeah.
and you're known as the See-Through Coach. Now, Tony, it's a wonder to have you on this show. You've written 2 books. Your latest one is #Loneliness,
Yeah.
and you've also written A Path to Wisdom.
Yeah.
Now, briefly for our viewers, can you go through your story and why you wrote these 2 books?
Well, my story is I came to England about 27 years ago, and I came because of a civil war in former Yugoslavia. So my mother took some money to save my life, and I was in civil war for more than 14 months, and not knowing where I'm going to live every single second, looking at snipers, looking at people collapsing, looking at buildings collapsing every single day, and you get used to that violence and to basically not knowing whether you're going to have another breath. Eventually, my mother, I got out of the civil war, and my mother put me on a one-way flight to London, and I landed in London Heathrow, and when I came to central London, I was homeless for 6.5 months.
Yeah, and that must have really given you a lot of insights and perspectives about the world that are quite unique to you.
Yeah.
Is that what inspired you to put them in your books?
That's just one of the things that inspired me, but since a very young age I actually wanted to create a life manual. From a very young age I had 5 dreams. One of them was to be a space captain.
A space captain?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, I wanted to travel through space, and I wanted to
Who
go to
doesn't?
places. Well, I love space, I'm one of the visionaries where I believe that will be our next stages where we're heading towards. But second part, I wanted to be an engineer. The third dream, I wanted to be an architect.
Okay.
The fourth dream, I wanted to be a cardiosurgeon. I wanted to, heal people's hearts. And the fifth dream, I wanted to write books, and I wanted to create manuals. Just the way we create manuals for repairing TV and radios, I wanted to create a manual that people can use to repair themselves and to create a perfect clarity, vision, and create inner balance and great health, and really prolong their lives and attain inner peace.
And that's what you're doing with #Loneliness and A Path to Wisdom?
Both. Actually, the first book, Path to Wisdom, it's a very unique book because it has a tremendous energy in the way it's designed, but also it captures the model which I now use globally, which is the TGS evolutionary method ALARM. And the ALARM is basically a 30 years of research studying and integrating technology, science, maths, psychology, cognitive behavior, NLP, under one methodology that people can use to empower all of the 8 key areas of life.
Okay.
Because if we do not empower those areas of life, each area of in our life, someone else will overpower us.
Right, yeah.
For instance, if you are great in a relationship but you don't have money, somebody else with money will overpower you and most likely will grab your girlfriend or boyfriend and disappear, and you'll end up being alone. And I see this consistently. But what I mean by that, it's essential for us to feel balanced. And the methodology is designed in a way that helps people to bring the awareness in areas where they need to work. And therefore, it's created and it's written as a life manual. It's not a book you just read. It's a book you consistently refer to. Just the manuals that we have in, like for instance, for science, for maths, when people can go consistently, students can read. I wanted to create a methodology that encompasses both the East and West, because I love what the East teaches us and also love what the Western world teaches us. So I always felt I'm a mix of the two.
And you are European to your core. I remember us
Absolutely,
having a
I'm a
conversation
European to the
earlier
core.
about
Yeah, according to the DNA results,
result.
that I'm European in the core. So I really wanted to help people attain that inner peace and inner balance and really become extremely successful and do amazing things for humanity.
You know how they say the first album a musician writes is the album they've been waiting their entire life to make? Is that similar to A Path to Wisdom?
Yes, I mean, it's basically, if you asked me this question 10 years ago, I would not even believe that I would be writing the book. Because although I had the idea to write the book from a very young age, it was consistently pushing it.
Yeah.
Meaning I wasn't good enough to write a book.
Why? Can we look at that? What happened over those 10 years to give you the confidence to produce this book?
Well, to start with, I invested more than $1 million in my personal development.
Okay.
You know, if I look at how much I've invested in my personal education for the last 30 years, I worked extremely hard, and all the money that I earned, both in technology and working in other jobs, I invested in my personal education. And through this process, I started to really almost integrate all of my knowledge, and being able to say, okay, what is it that humanity needs, and why is it that
That's your
we
alarm
have
method.
so many, correct?
Yeah.
Why do we have so many problems? Why a teenager ends up homeless on the streets of London, and why we still have homeless people in the city of London, and why do we have refugee crisis around the world, and why do we have war around the world? So all those global problems that we have, I wanted to go at the essence of what creates that, and it is us that we create that. And usually we do that when we have this almost discord within ourselves, because when we are out of alignment within the self, I cannot be in alignment with you.
Well, I mean, we did just meet, so perhaps give it a bit of time.
Maybe, you know, we go for a drink,
we have a drink,
we have a
then
drink,
we can get
and
in alignment, maybe
yes.
go for dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it.
Yes, I love dinner, you know,
Yeah?
especially nice food, you know, and I love food. But you know, it's the truth is, when we look at the global problems that we have, when we look at the environment, and when we look at we creating guns to kill one another, you know, there's nothing conscious or democratic about that. We still live in those primitive, I would say, what Maslow said in the hierarchy, Maslow of needs
Yeah.
pyramid. We're still at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yet we actually want to have a greater purpose, and we want to actually better our future. And unfortunately, as much as we want to believe that it's we can do that, unless we come together and upgrade our own internal systems to be in the same operating system, that's not going to be possible.
We've got about 5 minutes left before Tony has
Yep.
to go off and jet set to somewhere fancy. Final question, and it's quite business orientated.
Yeah.
So when you released your first book, A Path to Wisdom, how did your personal brand change?
It changed drastically because I was able to reach out more clients globally. And with that, it gave me a global platform, and also I started really being booked with private clients to work in South Africa, in Germany, in Switzerland, in America, in Brazil. And I'm going back there at the end of the month. I was in Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's basically Macedonia. I went to Albania. I went to Kosovo. So literally, I've been traveling with a lot of amazing people, being of service to them.
Once you wrote the book, it
Yeah.
took your brand international.
Yes, I mean, it's not about writing the book. This is what I tell a lot of authors who write a book. A lot of people write a book, but they don't get anywhere. It's not the book, it's who you are. And it's people do not buy the book, they buy me as a brand. So for me, I always say to people don't buy your business, they buy you. So a lot of people try to be out of their depth and try to be more credible than they actually are,
Yep.
or they minimize themselves. There are those people who also are extremely credible, but they're afraid to bring forward their success and their credibility. So you have this two range of people, and it's very rare to meet somebody who literally speaks their truth and wherever they are, and they're not afraid to say, okay, I need to learn, or they're not afraid to say, I don't know this.
So one final question before we get out of here, and this is for you guys watching. What advice do you have to aspiring authors?
Well, the first advice I would say is actually sit down and write down who do you want to help, and then next to it, look at it, what is your credibility? And sit down and unravel your worth of what problems you can resolve for people. So sit down and write down every single problem you can resolve with a tool you can resolve. And then when you do that, look at who right now needs your solution. Because a lot of people say, I want to help everybody. Okay? Yes, we all have that need to help everybody. But the reality is, for instance, in my case, I'm a high-end coach. Not everybody can afford me. So I only work with business owners who earn at least a 6-figure to 9-figure. Okay? So if they're in that gap, they can work with an expert to take them to the next level. But if you want to come to that gap, you need to work with a coach which is there almost who achieved that for themselves, so they can help you get there. So when you write a book, you really need to know where the book is going to take you. When I wrote A Path to Wisdom, I sat down and I wrote down all the experiences I want to create with Path to Wisdom. I wrote down all the problems that the book will be resolving. I wrote down all the existing problems in the society and globally, and in every country, in every family, in healthcare, in education. And I was looking how this methodology can actually help these people. So I had a full clarity where the book can go.
So we've got three things there for you. You've got to figure out the external objective, so
Yeah.
where the book, where you want the book to take you.
Yeah.
But the main focus is, what are the problems that you're going to solve?
Resolve, yeah.
And who are you going to help?
Yeah, absolutely. And have a perfect clarity on that before you start writing the book. Because I see a lot of people just say, okay, I want to share my story. Well, you know what? There's billions of stories out there. Why would people hear your
Why
story?
you?
Okay, why you? So, you know, I get a lot of people say, I'm a business coach.
Yeah.
And I say, have you worked in the business? No. Have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. So suddenly the credibility drops until they realize, well, I'm not a business coach. I just done a course on business coaching. Okay, so you need to be very credible in what you do. And usually every human being is credible in whatever they've gone through at the moment. Because somebody could be just credible, for instance, in this case, they'd be great at podcasting, but they never thought about it because they take it for granted. So I would say go back in the things that you really love doing in your day-to-day and think about other people who may love to do those things, but they're not doing. Like, for instance, I serve a lot of clients who basically they want to have more love in their life. Okay? So I bring a lot of love for them. You know, so or clients who want to
We were
have
talking
adventures.
about Tony's matchmaking
Yeah,
addiction
exactly.
earlier.
Yeah, it's like it's a cultural thing, you know,
Yeah.
just like food. You know, where the moment we know that somebody is single, we think about who we're gonna matchmake them.
You can pick up #loneliness on Amazon.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah, Kindle.
Kindle, audiobook,
Fantastic.
iTunes.
And A Path to Wisdom is also on Amazon. If the viewers want to connect personally with you, Tony,
Yeah.
how do they go about doing that?
They can go to my website, tonyselimi.com, TonySelim from mother.com. And all of my links on social media are there. And they can also download a free chapter of the books.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Pleasure talking to you, Tony.
Likewise, thank you.